Hey Internet, it's Gunter with MiniMishaps Games, and today we are talking about how to build an adventuring party in the GetherVerse. So we talked about building a character, and then we talked about how death can be handled in the GetherVerse. This week we want to make it so that it's better and easier to get with a group of people and have that gameplay happen, and make some recommendations for different setups that you can have for the game that the GetherVerse works really well in. That might take other systems some workarounds. So in session, we'll start with that. Now for in session, because everyone's characters are being custom built, you want to decide a pool of skills, of abilities that people are going to all develop together, aside from the ones specific to their job or class. So now this is essentially setting up, if you choose this set of abilities, it might be more like a horror story, or it might be more ridiculous and silly fun story. It might be dramatic or action-packed, cinematic. Those are all things that are going to be built based on what types of things you unlock as abilities. Now, there's something to be said for a free-form build the list of abilities as you go and let it become an organic gameplay. But you run the risk, if you don't set it up at the beginning, of one or more people being unhappy or feeling like they're being railroaded towards a certain gameplay style. So I recommend you set it up with the GM at the beginning, and a good way to do that is to have everybody generate a list of things their character is going to be striving for. And that can be the same things that you picked as a character, so it's abilities like your skills in the other game systems, but it's also like jobs they would like to be able to do, the types of quests they would like to take. Those kinds of things will determine, if you're adventuring in honor-bound feudal environment, it's going to take a different skill set than if you're in a dystopian future technological sci-fi scenario, which is going to be totally different than if you're doing a bank heist, totally different than if you're doing a big battle, large field management, but it really does allow for a broader range of gameplay styles than the more confined rule sets of some of your more standard tabletop, traditional tabletop game system tropes, as it were. So for an in-session, in-person, you're going to choose the skill sets for as long as the campaign lasts. If it's a one-off, then you can kind of hyper-specify which things everybody should go after to accomplish the goal of that day. And if it's a longer running multiple session campaign, you're going to want to make sure that the abilities that gained are broad enough to cover the scope of multiple sessions, because it is harder to remain impartial and stay fair to the players if you're trying to add them as you go. Unless you're doing it, all of them are added from the beginning as you go. Now, next setup that you can look at would be an all virtual environment. And the nice thing that this system affords, and you can see it on our Discord in the virtual ventures there, is that there are time leveling up markers. So every week of storytelling, in the case of most of the Discord folks, it doesn't have to be a week. You can set it at whatever time you want. The GM or DM goes and sees what everybody did in the virtual environment and then gives them the abilities that they earned based on what they did. We've turned this also into our series on the channel here as far as what abilities a character from another media source or movie or a video game would have if they were a character in the GetherVerse, if the player had tried to build them towards that goal. But it is nice in a virtual environment to be able to know, if I want to gain this ability, I just have to make attempts at that ability in a given measure of time, and then it'll go increase at the rate that I am kind of investing in it. So I really like that about this system, that you're able to groom a character into almost exactly anything specifically that you want it to be. Now power levels obviously are going to change as you level up, but as far as the types of things your character is good at, you can build all the classes and tropes from other RPG systems if that's what interests you, but you can also make something completely different, or set the skills to see how gameplay can be different each time that you play. So I really like that aspect of the gameplay never gets old, because if you change up the acquirable abilities and skills, that is going to drastically change your role playing and your storytelling. So that's another fun version. As far as our last one, that would be a mix of in-person and virtual. This is going to be probably, if you're doing 3 ability points gained per week of virtual, you're probably gaining 9 in a in-person session. So you're gonna divide those based on how much the frequency is, and how long your sessions go, how intense they are, etc. That you and the GM or DM will have to decide what the value of each set of hours or virtual weeks has against how much your character can grow in that time. And so this is one that is going to be built custom every time, because you can't really know how in a video like this how everybody's going to try different setups. And actually, if you want to put in the comments, we'd love to hear how you build your own custom sessions and campaigns with this point system. So main thing that you need is that when you are leveling an ability, it takes 3 points of experience to move that level up 1 modifier level. So a lot of times we'll annotate that as 0.33 or 0.66 or 1.0 as the complete and incomplete modifiers listed on the chart. So definitely give it a try. Let us know how it goes, and enjoy your forays into the GetherVerse party, being part of a party system. So you guys survived me again, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, Internet.